Yo, what's up guys? I'm the Card King Philosopher. Welcome to another video. Today I'm going to show you an objectively correct tier list of speed jewels right now. This is not chosen by me. If I would make this tier list, it would look differently. I'm just stating that already. This is just objectively, factually correct. This is how it is right now. So that's all I wanted to say. So the C and D tier, I'm not going to use at all. That's why I didn't give it a name. Ignore it. There's probably a button to remove those. I'm just too lazy. But anyway, so the first thing I'm going to show you is the thing, like, I made a list of a scoring field, so to say. I gave points to all the decks depending on their tops and wins. I'm going to show you that one first. So this is it. I gave 3 points per win, 1 point per top, because I feel like if you win, that's better proof of how good a deck actually is than just topping. Any deck can top sometimes. To win, you have to have great success. So there's something the deck does right. There's something there if a deck can top. There's something actually right with the deck if it can win. So that's why I gave 3 points for wins, 1 point for top. And if you didn't see it already, there's an asterisk saying because the tops that I mentioned are tops that are not wins. I didn't want to give them double points for tops or anything. So all of these tops are tops that weren't a win. Alright? So, as you can see, there's a clearly, Inner Conflict has the most points. It's not like it won much more tournaments than, for example, other decks. Like Exceed ties with it in wins, but it just has so many more tops than Exceed has. But that's also, and that's something I didn't like take into account with this whole thing. For some of these decks, obviously, there's a lot more representation, giving it also way more chances to get into top cut or to take a top and a win, for example, at a tournament. But this is just to find the meta and the tier list right now. I think this is most useful to just get a view of how it looks right now, what you're going to face if you go to a tournament, that kind of stuff. I'm not showing you any any deck list or something of this. I'm just going over the decks themselves, like as a type, just as a generic deck, as a team. So this is it. Like Inner Conflict took the most pops by far. I just call them Inner Conflict Variants. I know there's a difference between like Apprentice Magician, like Apprentice Monarchs and regular Monarchs and all that stuff. But I feel like Inner Conflict Warrior. But I just threw them all on one big pile because there's a lot of difference in there, but there's even the decks that get the same name, it's usually just the names of the few engines they switch. And I just felt like there's not enough clear distinction between the decks and like enough similarities between the distinctions found to actually separate them, in my opinion. People can do that, that's fine. I just think they're all Inner Conflict variants. I'm just gonna call them that. I'm just going for that. I'm also going to take that into account when setting them on the tier list. Otherwise, of course, with such a big leap, they would be a tier higher than all the other decks. But I think it's fine there. So, alright. So, looking at that what we just showed, obviously Inner Conflict is tier 1. There's no doubt about it. It's tier 1. Then, the second place is Exceed. As I already said, it has just as many wins as Inner Conflict, which is insane. I'm responsible for one of those, proud boy here. Exceed best deck. So, because there's no doubt about that, Exceed best deck. So, of course, Inner Conflict, tier 1, for sure. And Exceed also tier 1. I think those two are the tier 1s in my opinion. I've said this multiple times already in videos and other things. Not sure in which order they're gonna be uploaded, but yeah, this is tier 1. There's little doubt about that. It's just true. Just true, guys. That's simple. Exceed also took 2 tops beside the 2 wins, so it gained some points there. I think it is deserved. Then the one that I think is those 2 decks are the things that I'm gonna put in tier 2. I think. It's Spellproof Armor and Magnets. They're here as well. Spellproof Armor has more success than Magnets at the moment, which I completely understand. Spellproof Armor has a clear way to get to victory. It has a clear anti-meta aspect to it. The fact that it's unaffected by spells. If you summon Jinzo, you lock your opponent out of 2 of the 3 mechanics. Against most rogue decks and against Exceed, that works. Then you still have Inner Conflict. We can steal your guy once, so that's a little bit of a problem, but it's not unovercomable, but I do think that's the reason why they don't have any wins yet, despite having top multiple times. So Spellproof Armor definitely deserves the tier 2 spot in my opinion. Oh, we can delete it. Great. There we go. That's way better. So yeah, Spellproof Armor clearly deserves a tier 2 for me. I think everyone can agree on that as well. Like, if I prepare, I think about Inner Conflict, I think about Exceed, and then I think, like, do I have an out against Spellproof Armor with Jinzo? That's how I usually build my decks, and I think that's a good way to actually do it. Then another deck, Magnets. Magnets has stopped twice now. They have no wins yet. There haven't, as you can see, there haven't been that many tournaments yet. In 4 tournaments, they just managed to top twice. I think they are just at the moment deserving of tier 2, but it's, you know, I'm just not putting it in tier 3 because they have, even though it's so little, they have twice the tops of the decks that are following after this, and I feel like they deserve to be in the tier 2 right now. And then of course the ones that are kind of obvious, then what's left. Masked Beast has 1 top. Congrats, shoutouts again to Lucas Gaylord. Insane. And I wasn't expecting to put this on the tier chart today, but I just took all the decks that topped until now, or 1. And yeah, it's one of them. And then we have Viral Zombies, which also took one of the tops. So they both deserve to be in tier 1, tier 3. Which is still like an honor, because this is higher than all the other decks. Like Moth has no tops. Like the moment you realize Masked Beast has more tops than Moth. This is a weird day for Speed Duels. And I completely understand. Like, I played the deck. Masked Beast, for example, is a great matchup against Exceed. Like, the fact that you, like, anytime you destroy this, there's only one way you can get over the Masked Beast in, like, well, one is not a lot, but I mean, the easiest way to get over this is just by making Exceed. But if you do that, they summon Desgardius. And you still can get over that. So you need to discard another card to destroy Desgardius, and then they just steal your Exceed. And you have nothing left, and they can just go for the OTK. They took your resource, they took everything. And you can't just, you can stall for a little, but not a long time. So, like, Inner Conflict has it easier because they can just steal it. And that's also why Lucas himself said, like, this deck gets wrecked by Inner Conflict. But it, on the other hand, it does then again have a great matchup against Spellproof Armor, Magnets a little less. So they have a good matchup against a tier 2 deck, and they have a great matchup against a tier 1 deck. That makes for a good tier 3 deck, in my opinion. And then Viral Infection, I have no idea how he did it. I don't know, I tested Viral Infection as well. Congrats. That's all I can say. So yeah, I'm not sure how this deck exactly works. I'm sticking to that. I guess it has a good Spellproof Armor matchup. But besides that, don't know. Really don't know. But it's a good thing though. It's a good thing. Congrats. So this definitely, it has proven that it can at least stop still, even now. And I guess it can, like, overwhelm Inner Conflict real quick. So maybe Viral is, like, Masked Beast being a good counter for Exceed. Viral is a good counter for Inner Conflict. Maybe that's the case. Could be. So yeah, that's the tier list for now. It's just objective tier list. It's just based on the tournaments we've had up until now. And I guess that's all you need to know, right? Thank you guys for watching. This was a little short video, I think. And hope to see you next time. Bye.
Adidas, кроссовки. Ты полоски.